What's up, YouTube? Mr. Llama here, and today we're going to be talking about the latest Diablo 4 quarterly update. Now, I have not read any of this. I've heard just a couple small things, like high damage and Paragon. Didn't really like those things, but overall, a lot of people still said there are some cool things in it. So, let's dive into it. Let's take a look. Let's see what we need to dig into right here. Get into all of it. So, table of contents, introduction, itemization, and Paragon updates. Well, there it is, just right off the bat. And visual effects in Diablo 4. Hello, and welcome to the year-end Diablo 4 quarterly update. We hope you enjoyed October's deep dive into sound design. It actually was a very cool update about the sound design, the atmospheric ambient tracks, and peeking beyond the scenes of how games' sounds are made. Since our last blog, we've been hard at work adding new content and systems to the game. We've made big strides with every build of the game, containing a host of expanded content, new art, balance changes, and other iterations. In fact, the team is currently playtesting an internal release of the game that represents a significant milestone. We have much to share with you today as a result, so let's dive in. First, lead systems designer Joe Pipiora will discuss updates to key elements of itemization. These include the return of plus skills on items, a new way to interact with legendary powers, and some early work on targeted drops. Interesting. After that, grab a warm beverage and a comfortable chair as he walks us through Diablo 4's completely new endgame character growth system, the Paragon board. Next, lead visual effects artist Daniel Briggs will describe the philosophy that allows our talented VFX team to create huge explosions and eye-popping skill effects while keeping the game clear and readable. Even when there are many players and monsters on the screen at the same time, he'll also go into detail on how Diablo 4's new game engine has led us to make frame-by-frame combat more precise and nuanced, while leveling up our effects to take advantage of the new lighting system. Finally, feast your eyes on a plethora of skills across all four announced classes that show off our skill-driven death system. We hope you enjoy this new update and look forward to your thoughts and reactions. We'll be back in the new year and are ever grateful to have you with us on this journey. Joe Shelley, Game Director, Diablo 4. Oh, hey, Joe. How's it going? The itemization of Diablo 4. I want to hear about itemization. Already don't like the text, but whatever. We are greetings here to the Sanctuary. We are thrilled to once again dole out a whole heap of info on the state of systems and endgame in Diablo 4. I'm Joe Pipiora, the lead systems designer. I'm probably butchering that, but I'm going to say it very Italian until he corrects me. Today I'm going to share some details on two major features of Diablo 4, itemization updates, and our plans for Paragon. Plus skill rank affixes. In Diablo 4, the plus skill rank affix returns. As players invest points in skills, they grow in potency, and finding items with plus skill rank can speed that along. As a bonus, when the player equips an item with plus skill rank for a skill they haven't learned, they will be able to access that new ability. It's a great way to try out new skills before you're able to invest in them. Getting a lucky drop that nets you a skill you'd like for your build 10 levels before you would otherwise have access to it is a huge boost. For a skill you'd like for your build 10 levels before you would otherwise have access to it. So you can actually use an item with a skill, like I could be level 10 and use Blizzard or something. That's interesting. Level 1 teleport, right? If you get it on an item. Enigma for level 1s. I don't know. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that this is bad in any capacity. I'm just finding that interesting. It could totally work. I don't know. I already hate the damage numbers. Slowing large acts of flaying, magic two-handed axe, slashing. I guess there's that type. Big damage. There's our attacks per second. There's our critical strike damage. Also have to be careful about crit strike. Hit effect. I do like hit effects like slows. +4 ranks to flay. Requires level 44. Sell value, blah, blah, blah. Durability 100 out of 100. I still really despise the look of it all. It still looks like Diablo 3, and it still just doesn't look menacing. It doesn't look I don't know. It looks like a mobile game like gritty. Yeah, it doesn't like fit into as much. Too clean, too pretty, too font spacey, and I don't know. Yeah, it's like a birthday pamphlet. I feel like I'm gonna open it up and it says "Happy Birthday to you." I hope you die or something. That would be funny to put with an axe. I don't know. Damage, of course, is still a very big concern for me here as well. And just overall, there's a lot of numbers that kind of get thrown all in here right here. Your DPS, your damage per hit, your attacks per second, your crit. I mean, it's probably fine, but it does feel a little bit hard to read, or like I'm not getting the piece immediately. But I also probably don't feel like I know how to read it in this format as well. Okay. Legendary unique items. As Joe Shelley discussed back in our December 2020 update, legendary unique items remain a core part of the Diablo item chase experience. We've made a foundational change to legendary items in Diablo 4 by allowing legendary powers to appear on multiple item slots. Now, if you're searching for legendary power like martial arts, which enhances the barbarian's kick ability, all right, I kind of like that, you may find it on rings, chest plates, or helmets. There's no need to hunt for a specific item type any longer, which is great. Now, the real question is, what happens when you find a power on an axe when you really want it on a ring? Or you found a great legendary amulet but can't use the power? Well, that's when we get to introduce our new friend, the Occultist. Yeah, kick barb, right? Digging it. The Occultist can extract a legendary power from a legendary item, crystallizing it into an essence while destroying the item in the process. That essence can then be implanted into another legendary item, overriding the power that was present in the item at that time. Essence material can also be stored and used at a later time. Unique items cannot be modified this way, keeping their fantasies intact, and as their name implies, unique. That feels very easy? Like now, I just extract whatever I want and then just put it on whatever I want. And it's just like a guaranteed craft to put it on. And I mean, the thing is, it's the Occultist is just extracting it. So it seems like you just get any legendary item and just take it to them. It's not like you have to have some hefty payment, or you need to, it costs an SOJ to extract an essence or something like that. You just like take it to them. I mean, maybe there is something you do pay for it, but I don't know. I do worry about that because it feels like a lot of legendaries are going to be worthless. And you're just going to legendary hunt, pick up every legendary until you find a good essence, and then just take the essence off and put it on the item you want. I don't know. Maybe it'll play better than I'm imagining. Maybe it'll play better than I'm believing, or there's more information, but that's my first thought is that seems too easy. All right, let's look at the next one. Rare item before adding essence, and then with the essence upgrade. Yeah, I mean, it's just the exact same item, but imbued with it. I mean, I think it would almost be way cooler if it re-rolled the item. So you would take an essence out of an item, destroy it, and then put it on a rare amulet or whatever it is, and you would get a random roll on that item with it. So you're trying to, create something cool. It's not like you just guaranteed just move the essence over where you want, but now you're literally, all right, you're kind of crafting and you're hoping that you get something good. It's guaranteed to have that essence, but you know, you're kind of it's a crafting piece, you know, or it rerolls some of the affixes or something. I don't know. This just right now it just seems too easy. I don't even like chance to fail on it as much as something else. I don't know. There needs to be a downside, a trade-off, something. Yeah. All right. Hunting for items. Sanctuary is a vast world filled with forlorn trails through werewolf-infested forests, withered heaths crawling with cannibals, and fog-choked graveyards crawling with the restless dead. There are plenty of enemies and monsters for the hero to encounter. Each of these monsters seem to enjoy collecting certain types of items and will be somewhat more likely to drop those items than others. Interesting. While bandits are fond of maces, crossbows, and boots, if you're hunting for a new pair of pants, you'd do well to kill some of the drowned instead. So a little bit of targeted farming in the mob types. In past discussions, we've received feedback that it seems deflating for so much of a character's power to be delivered through the gear that they have equipped. It's true. Customizing and planning a character feels less rewarding if it doesn't play a big role in how the character performs in combat. We hear you loud and clear, and in Diablo 4 we have placed a stronger emphasis on character power that is earned by all the little decisions you make while leveling up and exploring the world of Sanctuary. While we aren't talking about everything we have planned for the character power today, I'm happy to talk about one feature in particular, the Paragon board. Okay, so Paragon is coming back, and obviously it's going to have to be different than Paragon in Diablo 3 because that is not great. So let's see where it's at. Not great to me. Some people enjoy it. I personally don't find the value in it overall. In Diablo 4, we have placed a heavy emphasis on build customization, ensuring that you can have plenty of control over how your hero grows. The Paragon board unlocks for each class at level 50. Okay, so is 50 going to be max? And is a distillation of this focus. Your hero begins their journey through the Paragon system at the central starting tile of their class's intro board, and from there you make selections radiating outward. So the Path of Exile skill tree, right, is where we're getting at. Once your hero reaches a gate tile, you'll choose which new Paragon board you would like to attach to at that location. The desired outcome is a personalized set of bonuses that will empower your hero and honor your dedication to their progression that remain fun to tweak and adjust over many playthroughs. So is it sticking through to the account then? There's a lot to take in with the image below, so we'll talk through some of the aspects of what we're looking through here. Oh, sorry. That's my bad. Okay. So this image does have a lot going in it. Seems like you start at this tile, you work your way out to some spots. Let's see. Many fixed tiles. As a barbarian earns experience, they will earn Paragon points. Let me actually do this. And do this real fast. Just so we can have this board up while we review it. Put it up like in the corner, kind of. Okay. Normal tiles. These tiles are straightforward in providing a small but meaningful stat boost. Normal tiles are connective tissues that can be found throughout the board and are quite common. I wish they said what color they are. I mean, I'm assuming they're these black ones, but gray ones. Magic tiles. Magic tiles are found in clusters throughout the board and provide a potent, more diverse set of benefits. As you might expect, they are less common than normal tiles, but are still plentiful. Are these the brown ones? Rare tiles offer a significant boost in power upon entering the Paragon board for the first time. These represent great goals for players to chase, particularly once you've narrowed builds down towards highly specific goals. Rare tiles also have additional powers that unlock once the hero has raised an attribute to a sufficient level, requiring some choices to be made when plotting your path through the board, which I think is interesting. Legendary tile. After the first Paragon board, each new board has a single legendary tile that can be found at its center. Legendary tiles impart a new legendary power to the character that earns it. Okay, so here we can see common, magic. Well, that doesn't really line up with the colors. Man, I'm so confused on which ones are supposed to be. Okay, so this is strength. This is resistance. This is grant some fury. And, okay, grants 10 fury per kill. And then for more strength and willpower, you get increased max fury. And this is while your fury is above 50%, you deal 30% more damage. Okay. At least it says 30%, not like 500% or something. Glyphs and sockets. A socket is a special tile that can contain a glyph. Glyphs are items found throughout Sanctuary that, when embedded into a Paragon board, so this is just jewels, right, confer various benefits based upon the number of active tiles within their radius. Yeah. Glyphs can also be leveled up by delving into some particularly dangerous dungeons. Leveling up a glyph extends the radius of their effect, allowing each one to draw power from or impart power to even more active tiles. So this is a small size radius. Empower, grant 30% bonus to all nodes within range. This one's rare, medium size. For every 10 dexterity purchased within range, you deal a 13.5% increased damage to vulnerable targets. Grants 40.5% bonus to all nodes within range. And this one is large radius. For every 10 willpower purchased within range. Purchased. Why are you purchasing willpower? You deal 31.5% increased overpowered damage. Grants 4 strength for each willpower purchased within range. Okay. A single gate tile lies at each edge of the Paragon board. As you progress through the Paragon board, you'll eventually reach a gate tile, which upon unlocking will allow you to select a new Paragon board to attach to your existing one. Each of these boards has unique tile layouts, new magic and rare tiles, and a new legendary tile at the center. The Paragon board is extended from these gate tiles. Upon selecting from the Paragon board list, you'll be able to place the board down, connecting it to the newly unlocked gate tile. You may also optionally rotate that newly placed board. Okay, so you click your gate. It gives you some boards to choose from. You can rotate. You can go, I imagine, hover over and go from there. We're hard at work on these other features that we'll be able to share more about in the future updates. Though for now, it's all from the assistance teams. Thanks for reading, and please share any feedback you have on social media or other forums. Of course, on Mr. Llama's YouTube, we read all of those comments. So make sure to like and subscribe there as well. Oh, man, they gave me a shout out again. That's so sweet of them. I mean, I think I understand where we're at, right? If we pull this up, this is our starting board. But, you know, you could imagine that you're going to have right in here, you would have a legendary on any new tile. This is a jewel, I'm imagining. That's going out and affecting these right here. I'm guessing these are all the selected ones. Maybe. This is probably where you put those jewels. Something like that. Probably some rare ones and these yellow ones. It seems like it's something like this. It very much seems like the passive tree of Path of Exile with a different take on it. And honestly, I don't hate it. It's kind of interesting. You know, it feels like you can do a lot to tinker with. You have different tiles. It gives a lot of options, stuff to work towards, all of that. Now, the question, or the part that comes to me, is this going to be where I go like in Diablo 3 and I'm at Paragon 3000 and I have 3,000 skill points to spend across it, and I'm so jacked up with all of this and it's just everywhere, right? Like, how many boards do I have? Right, with that. Because if I just keep going and keep going, then it's like, well, now it's just infinite. And once you get that infinite power growth, kind of, it just kind of gets silly, in my opinion, you know? So you'll be able to lock 200 Paragon points at level 100. That's kind of what people are saying. So, you know, I don't mind there being some endgame growth to push towards here, where you're like, okay, I can get 5 more fire res, I can get a few more strength, I can unlock a couple more powers and do some things. There seems like there's a lot of options, stuff like that. I imagine you can kind of respec this in some capacity, do some pieces there. There's, you know, it seems interesting, and I think it's got some fun experimentation to it. Like I say, I just don't think it just can't go too far. It just can't be, you know, you just keep getting it and your Paragon just keeps going up and up and up and up, and now you've got 1,000, now you've got 1,500, now you've got this. Now, the other part that did slightly confuse me, worry me, whatever, is they said, and let me remove this board. They said, that will remain fun to tweak and adjust over many playthroughs. Does that mean like just playing through like the end game piece of the game? Or is this somehow carrying over for like the rest of the season or whatever it is? Because that's how it is in D3, right? Like in Diablo 3, you can create a level 1 character and have like Paragon 2000 or something. My Diablo 3 knowledge is years old at this point. Right. And so you just like, I never liked that. I want any character to always start out just like naked and not super buffed up. So, you know, I'm hoping that it's character bound, but then it's like, are you playing through the whole game over and over again? I don't know. I'm just a little confused. I just want a little more detail on it. I'm sure everybody has their theories of how it works. But that's something I would be curious about. And then purchasing willpower, I'm also curious about. For each willpower purchased within range. I just have questions about that. Otherwise, allocating points that give willpower. Oh, they're saying purchase as in point allocation to the stat there. Okay. I was kind of hoping it was that, but I wasn't sure. I just, you know, I see purchasing and instantly my mind is like, oh no, don't do it to us. Yeah, like I said, I don't hate the end game that they've thrown out here. It's not, it will have to be monitored and finely tuned and tested and all of this, and kept in check. But I think it could be good. It's not something I look at and I go, that is just going to be bad regardless, right? It's definitely one that I think it has potential on it. Tough to balance, maybe. We'll have to see. But done correctly, I think very interesting. maximum board attachments, whatever, right? Just can't be let go, right? And some of you guys will disagree with that, and that's okay. I mean, you can leave your comments of what you think would be better. That's all good. They'll read that stuff. Let's move forward. Visual effects in Diablo 4. So, thanks for joining us. My name is Daniel Briggs. I'm the lead visual effects artist for Diablo 4. The VFX team gets to contribute to features across the entire game, but today we'll focus on the work we do to support combat. VFX artists collaborate with designers and other art teams to create strong thematic identities for the hero classes and breathe life into monsters in order to deliver the visceral, gruesome combat players have come to expect. VFX is an integral part of the combat experience for all Diablo games. With Diablo 4, we wanted to step up the fidelity of our effects using physically based rendering, PBR, as well as better support the core pillars of gameplay, deep hero customization, itemization, and combat readability. Visual effects philosophy. Every effect plays a role in the final composition of our game. It's important to understand the context of an effect and how it best serves your experience. One of our core values at Blizzard Entertainment is gameplay first, and this drives a lot of the artistic decisions we make while developing visual effects for the game. Moment-to-moment gameplay is the focal point within the composition of Diablo 4. It should draw your attention. To achieve this, we must consider things like player skills, monster telegraphs, traps, damage areas, and character states. The visual effects for each of these components must be readable in all areas and lighting conditions so you can quickly understand what is happening and use the information to make informed decisions. It's very true. Many games get too much going on. And, I'd be curious to see what they do here. In the chaos of the combat, you'll need to be smart. Seeing a legendary item drop is exciting, but picking it up is not as important as reacting to a monster's attack that can one-shot hardcore characters. Our goal is to balance the primary, secondary, and tertiary reads to help you understand what is happening. To do this, we reserve visually loud FX for powerful skills like ultimate abilities, while weaker skills meld into the background. Each class has abilities that range from low to high in cost, cooldowns, and power. In tandem, classes have a range of visual intensity that increases with skill power. Combat improvements. To enhance the feel of combat, we have made several improvements to the way damage is applied in our game. In previous iterations of Diablo, an area of effect or melee skill would be in a single area of damage that is applied on a single frame. Thanks to our gameplay engineers, we can now animate target areas, what we call payloads, over multiple frames, which allows us to line up the animated target areas with the animated VFX that play out. For example, Whirlwind in Diablo 3 is a cylinder shape surrounding a barbarian which applies damage every couple of frames at a rate based on your attack speed. Ooh, couple of frames. Bring back old Whirlwind. In Diablo 4, Whirlwind is an animated pie shape that animates with your character. AoEs expand outward with time, and melee swings match the motion of your weapon. Animated target areas improve the accuracy to the way we apply damage in Diablo 4. It makes combat feel more impactful and monster ragdolls more visceral. Animated payloads also add a subtle timing aspect to a variety of skills. Additionally, we have revamped the way we apply hit effects to monsters, so impacts flow with the direction of a spell or melee attack. Ooh, that's cool. We use data defined in the animation and animated target area to find the most accurate place to hit a monster and where to apply directional physics force to the ragdoll. In so few words, if you hit a goatman in the knee, the blood spray would come from the knee. The physics force applied to the goatman's knee would send it flying as if you kicked the legs out from under him. That's actually insanely cool. Let's watch this. Interesting. That's actually cool. Wow. So that's old and this is new. Nice. Oh. Nice. Yeah, the hitboxes are super visual there. That was kind of brutal. Yo! That's sick. That was cool. Visual effects, casting and receiving light. In Diablo 4, we use a PBR lighting model, which means our materials look and react to light in a realistic way. This approach brings huge rendering improvements, but can be counterintuitive to what a player might expect for a class and monster abilities. As an example, think about what a campfire looks like in full daylight. Pretty lackluster, right? Next, imagine what a dust cloud or smoke plume would look like in the dead of night. It'd be nearly impossible to see. To account for this, we've built an engine and shader library that lets us break PBR rule sets in artistic ways. This ensures important gameplay moments shine through as clearly as possible while keeping the immersive elements full PBR so they can realistically react to lighting. Previous iterations of Diablo use primarily unlit particles, meaning they are not affected by the environment's lighting. These particles give you amazing control over what the art will look like. What you paint is what you get. The downside to unlit particles is that art may look too bright in a dark dungeon, or VFX color schemes may not feel cohesive within every environment. In Diablo 4, we use lit VFX that meld into the environment's lighting, creating a more immersive experience. Using Whirlwind as an example, seen in the video above, in bright daylight, the blade reflects light from the sun. That's sick. In a dark dungeon, it will reflect more subtle light sources like torches. The dust kicked up by the skill is also lit by the environment, so it blends artfully into the world. Gorgeous. If we rely solely on environment lighting and follow true PBR rules, then gameplay readability is muddled, particularly in dark environments. Excuse me. Where a weapon swing would naturally be hard to see. To counteract this, many VFX have emissivity to cast light onto the environment. Several ultimates in our game will even allow you to change the weather and lighting of the environment for a limited duration. Ooh. We strive for a healthy balance of gameplay, clarity, and thematic immersion. See some stuff. Show it to us, baby. Yo. God, that looks good. Ooh, look at those hydras. I don't know if I like that armor. It's like too much, you know. Oh my god. Bruh. That was cool. Hefty boy druid. Dynamic player skills. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the art looks like if the gameplay isn't fun. It's true. One of the goals for creating player skills is to ensure the system design team has a variety of modifiers they can utilize to create meaningful skill trees, class mechanics, legendary items, and Paragon boards. Choices should affect more than your character's stats. Once we have a class skill we are happy with, the VFX team adds the ability for developers to dynamically change the size, intensity, and duration of the skill. The visual intensity of its skill will increase as you stack upgrades and items that increase the power of that ability. In addition to these skill modifiers, we create variants of abilities that completely change the function of a skill or the damage type that it deals. These skill variants can be changed by the scale, intensity, and duration modifiers as well. This allows variants of skills to be affected by a wide range of legendary modifier groupings. Your skill tree / Paragon decisions, along with the items you have equipped, will make your character look and play differently from other characters of the same class. Each of these ranges is handcrafted by an artist to ensure the art holds up at all supported sizes and intensities. We do not uniformly scale every piece of an effect when changing size and intensity. We modify things like spawn rate, velocity, emissivity, and color ranges to make sure that certain art still fits in the world of Diablo. Yo! Alright. I love that Frost Nova, though. I'm digging that. Oh my god. Gorgeous. Such a short duration for ice armor. Yo, dang, look at that glow though. Alright, Earth Spike is a cool ability as well. And that just seems cheating. I hope that doesn't work in PvP. It's the old guided arrow. I appreciate that no skill has... Yo, Inferno! Let's go, baby! Dang! Inferno's back! Now that is an Inferno. Oh my god, that was gorgeous. I appreciate we haven't seen anything that's like whole screen is blowing up. At least not yet. God, that Inferno looked good. We want your character to look incredible as well. Our items are built in a way that allows us to easily apply weapon buffs to any weapon in the game. Not only will legendary items do awesome things, but they'll make your character look amazing as well. Here is an example where we apply the same fire and poison buff to several weapons in our game. Nice. Let it burn, baby! I want to see a bow with fire. Yeah, those were okay. That didn't quite do it for me. They were like, all right. I was hoping they'd look a little bit cooler. Skill-driven deaths. Sanctuary is a dark, gothic world filled with horrific monsters that do horrendous things. To survive in this bleak landscape, you must be merciless towards your enemies. We are bringing back a popular feature from Diablo 3, skill-driven deaths. This system allows you to decapitate, bisect, freeze, shatter, eviscerate, and burn your enemies. To give a few examples. With our new P-bar pipeline, we can make blood, viscera, and gore even more realistic by having it react properly to the lighting of an environment. Every monster is built with a skeletal and muscular structure used for killing them in brutal ways. If your character is in the thick of combat, they will be covered in blood spatter of nearby monsters. Over time, your character's armor will transition back to being spotless. Oh. There's the muscular structure. Interesting. And then skeletal, maybe? Yeah. Self-cleaning armor is nice. Give us some blood splatter. Wait, where's the blood? Oh, now we're getting it. Okay. I was so confused. And then it slowly wears off. Oh, they're showing the muscles. Okay. Cool. The sorceress studies the art of elemental magic. They slow enemies with cold before freezing them solid and shattering them to pieces. They strike their enemies with stunning bursts of lightning, causing bodies to pop and sizzle. Enemies collapse to the floor and the character and char to the bone as the sorceress engulfs foes in fire. I don't understand what we're supposed to see here. This is just mana and life. Oh, they're just showing what each of their orb colors are going to be, I guess. Freeze is it's breaking. It's just breaking everywhere. Freeze, shatter, break frozen monsters to pieces. Char singes the corpse of the monster with lightning. Burn, scorch the monster's flesh, leaving the remains of a charred skeleton. The barbarian takes pride in their physical capabilities. Their arsenal of weaponry makes them deadly in close combat with the power of their ancient bloodline. They crush them into piles of gore and send them flying across the battlefield. Their brute strength is equally matched by their speed and ferocity as they unleash fury on the battlefield. Okay, so this is just saying what they have and what types. So they have crush, decapitate, cut in half, sweet, and break lower limbs. The monster's lower body is shattered, splitting several of their joints. Jesus, this is just brutal. Rogues, a precise stab from the daggers brings most to the floor. Imbue weapons, shadow magic. Okay, so they have eviscerate, spill the insides, shadow, deteriorates the life from their flesh, freeze, shatter, poison. The monster's skin melts off. Oh my god. And flay the skin from an enemy, leaving the muscle structure intact. Just reading this is horrifying. The druid is one with nature magic. They conjure storms and will call down on their enemies. They control the battlefield with gust of wind, and their animal companions tear the flesh from monsters. Druids manipulate the earth with nature magic, molding it to their will and bludgeoning enemies from afar. As they approach, they see the innate power of the druid shapeshifting fluidly between an agile werewolf and a hulking werebear. Ooh, I like that purple. They have roadkill. The monster is crushed by a moving object, leaving a smear of blood on the ground. Devoured, just eaten away by bites. Lightning gib. Lightning causes the monster's body to pop, exploding them into pieces, and maul where the skin is mangled, covering them in blood. This is horrifying. Okay, there's shattering. There's charring and burning. Yeah, there's some more incineration going on there. This is cool. Hydras! Alright. This one's a little longer. Let's make it bigger. And a little bit bigger for you guys. You know, I also have to say I do like the skill art that we're seeing down here. Like, look at for the sorceress. It looks cool. I'm actually more of a fan of the skill art. I like the colors on it. I like that. I think the images are decent. That does look cool. I mean, it looks really good. Okay, that's kind of cool. Why does that say 333,271? Not again. Can we just make it 3,332 damage or 333.2 damage and can we just scale it back down to normal numbers? Oh boy. Yeah, I see level 50 as well down there. Oh boy. Yo! Alright, I like that invisible. God, rogue looks sick. Wait, why is that rogue level 100? Okay. But the other characters were level 50 with no more experience there. And they talked about when you get to level 50, the Paragon unlocks. Is that like you have 50 Paragon levels? Interesting. Good to note. It is kind of hard to see those skeletons. Like if you get rid of their like health bars, straight up invisible. There is, and this is something I noticed as well with Diablo 2 Resurrected. The gray seems a little harsh sometimes. Like you can still have dark and dreary and whatever with a little more color, you know, and a little more contrast. So I think contrast is something that does slightly get lost lately in this and D2R. Molten boulder, but not molten. Yeah, we haven't seen any elite mobs in this at all, which I think is also a slight. I mean, maybe it's not a concern or anything, but all those mobs look to be very just like the most basic of mobs, you know, with like a high level character. But, you know, I mean, I don't know, maybe showing off elite mobs and the dangerous situations and all that stuff wasn't the, like, priority in this right now. So, I'm not trying to say that is, like, they missed it and it's all ruined. I'm just saying. And that's it. That's everything we have to share with you today. It's been a dream to work on this franchise. I've really enjoyed the opportunity to share some of our development process with the community. Thank you for reading. Our last quarterly update for the blog of 2021. I hope you found it exciting and interesting. We're actively listening to your feedback. We strive to make Diablo 4 the dark gothic game we all want to play. Please continue to share your thoughts, provide feedback on social media, Reddit, and our forums, as well as on twitch.tv/MrLamSC, youtube.com/MrLamSC, and just anything related to Mr. LamaSC. Make sure that you go and follow him on all of those platforms. That is definitely where we are going to be reading the most. We'll see you in hell, the Diablo 4 development team. Wow, I can't believe they wrote all those nice things at the end. That was so sweet of them to say. Overall, I think it's a decent update. I think the items still have some questions for me. I still don't like the design. It still looks like Diablo 3. This weapon, you could tell me, came from Diablo 3, and I would say, yes, it did. I know it seems like it isn't. It still has more to it because Diablo 3 items are very much just like stat sticks completely. But it still feels very similar in that regard. I think there's decent things. Damage numbers, really, just like divide everything by 100 and we're good or something. That would probably do a lot for us. This essence thing, I still think, once again, maybe taking the essence and slamming it on an item and getting a random roll on said item could be cool. Not like it adds a random roll to it, but it re-rolls the item and then gives the ability. So then you have the ability to move the essence fury skills, deal 4% more damage to an amulet, but now you're chancing the amulet being a good amulet that you would want, right? Rather than just taking the rare amulet that's good and then putting the essence on it, and now the rare amulet is just even better and just amazing, right? It's just like too easy. It feels like. The random roll thing sounds infuriating. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You're gonna go around and be rolling for it and having to try for it, right? Otherwise, it's the easiest thing in the book. I don't mind that. Paragon board, like I said, I don't hate. I'm actually, it's taken some from the passive tree of Path of Exile, kind of created its own version of it. It kind of took the jewels stuff a little bit, has some differences. I don't hate it. I'm interested to see further, and we'll need to test it. And then the VFX stuff was really awesome. This is definitely stuff that it really helps games like be beautiful, and I think it looks really good. So props to that team. The lighting stuff looks good. All the player skill pieces that we looked at. The skill-driven deaths was cool. And then this was just gory as could all get out for all these things. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this update. I definitely still have my minor concerns that come with it. But I'm not disappointed. I think there's a lot of opportunity still for the gameplay to be solid here. And if they can get that down, I'll be happy, So, if they can't, if that part fails, then I'll be sad. So, that's it. That's number 4 for the year. Fourth update for the year there. Decent update. I feel like at this point, what do we need more of? I mean, I still want more on items, always. Did they talk more about Endgame? I guess the Paragon is... I just want more details of, like, this right here. Like, just expand further on all of these gameplay pieces and mechanics. I'd love to hear more about leveling and that experience and, all of that. yeah. GG, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below with your own thoughts and opinions. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, YouTube.